ta vie renouvelée en Jésus-Christ.
PACIS TV, the #1 Catholic television in Africa.
PACIS TV, ta vie renouvelée en Jésus-Christ.
Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for choosing PACIS TV. The program now is my home show, and the show is finished. Thanks so much for joining us in our today's edition. Today, I'm with a special guest. Before I show you the past song now, today I would like to make please subscribe to our YouTube channel. And after that, remember also to share the contents. Peter, how are you? Fine, thank you, Peter. Thank you. The name of Peter. No sense of the word. Now, Peter, today we are going to discuss about the Rwanda you saw and the Rwanda you see. Okay, now we are in 2026. Yeah, this is the Rwanda you see in 2026. But the Rwanda you saw that time. But before, I would like you to. Who is Peter? Okay. Yes, let me tell you a bit about it. My full name is Peter Marty. I am a Ghanaian journalist, and currently I'm the managing editor of the Catholic Standard. Catholic Standard is the newspaper of Catholics in Ghana. It was established in 1938. Yes, that's the Catholic Standard. Now, I am the managing editor currently. But I'm sure why we're having this interview is I told you that in 1994, August 1994, I was here as a journalist with the UNAMI, the United Nations Mission in Rwanda. Some journalists were invited in August. As you know, the genocide started on the 6th of April 1994. But we were invited, we came here in August of 1994. A team of journalists and journalists. Working from different media houses. But what they had was I was working for a private media. I was working for a private media called the Independent newspaper. But journalists were selected from different media houses, some from the state, the Daily Graphic, the Ghana News Agency, and some from the Ghanaian Times, some from GBC, and some from the private media. I happen to be one of those from the private media, the Independent, because our soldiers were here. You had what they call the UNAMI, United Nations Mission for Rwanda, and it was headed by General Delay of Canada. But the deputy force commander was from Ghana, Major General Ayidohu. So our soldiers were here. So we came here as journalists to see firsthand what was happening. So that brings us to the Rwanda I saw then. That time. At that time. Now, how came that Peter saw himself a part of the team that was supposed to come here? Were you managing director also? No, I wasn't the managing director at the time. But before then, I had been the director of the Ghana International Press Center, which is the headquarters of journalists. So I was the first director of the press center, and this came at the time. So I had an invitation to join the team. Come here. How many? There were two batches or three batches. My batch. Subsequently, another batch also came. I think the third also came. So we're here for 2 weeks. And in between, we drove to Uganda to spend 3 nights in Uganda. The whole idea was to see the countryside and to see what was going on. So while we were here, we had an opportunity to go to places like the Faragis. So where we met the children, and some of them, yes, at the time, because some of the children were down, they couldn't talk because of the trauma, things they had seen. So they would sit and stare at you, and that was a very touching experience, very, very humbling.
Have you ever seen Justin? You see why I said I was going to write a book?
Just reading, only reading about it.
So I'm going to write a book for that.
Kids who
Don't use his eyes. Don't use his legs.
very, very, very
It's
still.
a
That was the first, your first time. I finished journalism school in 1987. Yes, that's when I finished journalism, Ghana Institute of Journalism, 1987. So if I came here in, so I had done 7, about 67, 8, and I finished 87. We came here in 94. So that's a good 7 years at the time. Yes, and so it was kind of like some kind of exposure to see things in real life. And what we saw, because we had the opportunity to go to the King Faisal Hospital, and as I say, saw people who were the injured out there. We got to talk to some of them, and then outside talking to people. And so it was an experience that will stay with you for the rest of your life. Coming here today and going around, and especially to the children's section, brought back memories. The experience of that type of process. And journalism, nobody said that it's not a profession. It's when you choose journalism, you say I'm going to focus. This is my area. To be that entertainment,
Rwanda
here's the thing. Even though
I will watch it.
out of school, I just did a little bit of things. I went into public relations, doing relations and all. And it's just in 2025 that I've come back to journalism now full time, because I'm the editor of the Campus Standard, which is the newspaper of the Campus Standard, and that was established in 1938. So now I'm full journalism.
That's criminal.
At the time, I was writing articles, doing things like that. I wasn't an editor or anything. A journalist abroad. So you could be writing anything.
Just understand that that time you would have done just
yes.
Write about politics, current education, science, environment,
Anything. No specialization. At the time, anything.
Anything you could just cover it.
Yes.
So, I wanted to share with me the experience when you see the confirmation or the information at that time.
Here's the thing. I grew up in Birmingham. Birmingham is the army. My father was a soldier, a lawyer, but in the army. And I'm the adventurous type. I like to see things. That was a possibility, but now I'm a very good journalist. And that is, and I'm a PR person. That I'm satisfying something else, and then I'm helping my church as an editor of the paper. So that is a calling, like you said. So that's where I find myself now.
So now we are talking about the first meeting, the first hour. You received the message that Peter at this stage you will be talking. That for me, it was a wonderful opportunity to go and see things firsthand and get to talk to people about what has happened and why it has happened. What was happening? What was the idea?
Yeah, but you see, here's the thing. But here's the thing. Journalism is storytelling with a purpose. Now, to tell the story, if you are in there, if you are immersed, you can tell a better story. Because you are not taking second-hand information. You are there and you are able to probe and ask things. So for me, it was an opportunity to come and see things for myself. So when I'm writing, I'm not writing second-hand information. I'm not looking at what somebody has written and then paraphrasing from them. But I can have direct counter. So that was it. And still, if there's anything that I can be there, like I said, it's storytelling, but with a purpose. So you want the narrative to be exactly what it is. And as you know, journalism, the first obligation is what? The truth. Then your loyalty is to what? The citizen. And it's the discipline of what? Verification. How do you verify things? If you are there, yes, then you can actually verify. So that's what I think. And for me, this opportunity of coming is the third time being here. So each time I look at where it started from, that's a benchmark, and where it's going, and where it's going. And so I continue to tell everybody there's so much African history and the wealth from Rwanda. First of all, the progress that you have made and the healing, which is very important. And this will come from visionary leadership. It will come from leadership. Obviously, there will be challenges along the line. There's never a smooth road on this path. But it's about changing the mindset and saying that it is possible. One of the things that I admire about this is a policy about no single-use plastics. It's a big problem in my country. Everywhere you pass, the waste management, the problem is with the plastics, a lot. But here, they said no plastics, no single-use plastics. And so you have to have a mission. You know, and you have to be very convinced yourself this is the path I am going. And that's where we are.
One of the things participants told me that they had asked please, if you are to Rwanda, please make sure you are not traveling.
Plastics. And for me,
Thank you for that.
That's
So that's
okay.
the Rwanda you are seeing now. That's the Rwanda you are seeing. So now, again, I want to know, give the information that you go to. How the information came.
like I said to you, as soldiers were here, we had a deputy force. In the army, they have what they call the DPR, Director of Public Directorate of Public Relations, and the media. So as they were coming, if you want to get your stories across, then you might share this as well. And I said to you that I have been the director of the press center in Ghana. The director of the press center, yes. Fresh grad. No, I wasn't fresh. I finished journalism school in 87. Yes. So out there, yes, but you see, we progress differently. You understand?
I agree.
Some go early and get a burnout. Others progress slowly and move on. You know, others move on. So for the people to send you on, you have to be convinced that you are right and capable of doing what is expected of you out there. Because as you go, you're representing not just yourself or the Journalists Association, but your country as well. That's what. So now,
Granted that I have so much internet. Yes, they would have
mixed feeling. For me, professionally, it was good. What was I going to see? You understand? Will I be traumatized? Will I be able to withstand what I go in your profession? Because as journalists,
number one, you don't know whether
I'm sent to different places. The war zone, other places, the curfew, different kind of mixed feeling, but an opportunity. I seize every opportunity I get to progress in my profession.
it was like Zikina was a was the president.
After receiving that information, the invitation,
President was
I'm very fervent.
so what gave me the
Made some researches, some surveys, Rwanda, where is Rwanda? What is happening in Rwanda? So, according to what you read that time, so what was happening?
Landlocked. What do you have? Kabirwa Hills. And I've heard of that. What resources? Correlates. This is what I read about. You know, and all, because I didn't read about minerals. If you take my country, gold, diamond, bauxite, manganese, all of it are out there. You understand? But in Rwanda, I didn't see that. What I saw was in a country over hills, and then the gorillas, and then now genocide. So I said, what was there? Let me come and see. And I came and I saw as the question of technology. Because the plane was shot down on the 6th of April. 6th of April is when the plane was shot down to the presidency. And we came in August. And when we came, what we were doing, and it wasn't with gunshots, it was machetes. So what do you call that? What do you call that? You don't call it genocide, what do you call it? You're telling me, I told you genocide and stuff. And you were saying that so I'm asking you, what do you call it? If you give me another word, I'll use it. But I know that within a matter of 100 days, over 800,000 people were murdered. And if you don't know that, because I know you had the Hutus in the class, as an intelligentsia. You know that. That's minority out there. Because you had these two, somehow people could identify who is from where and what. So go and block a place, stand with the machete, and things. Because I was told at the time, I don't know if it still exists. No, intermarriages. I don't know. In my country, there's a lot of intermarriages. I am from the Volta region. My wife is from the Eastern region. Married. Same thing. So where's our daughter from? Is she from Eastern? Is she from Western? So you can't go start holding a machete. This one is coming for your killing. You understand? Unlike your case, what we were told is we don't have a lot of intermarriage. I don't know whether it's still the case. But when we came in 1994, that was the case. And your history about the Belgian influence here and all of that. So you know that is not just internal factors, external factors. Because you ask yourself, so why would you just, you would say, calling somebody cockroaches? You understand? Yes, but underlying things. Fire being found. And all. So when there's a fire being found, anything that triggers it, it sparks. And that's what it is. When you go back into your own history, you know, from 59, there was something, right? The kind of cement. But when the cement, you think it's there? No. And that's why I'm happy about what I had today, about the healing. Never again. That is the message that I carry to my people. It doesn't happen there. But you can't say it won't happen. If you beat me, go overboard with things, insulting and ethnic and tribal things. Anything is possible. You understand? From the experience here, we should all learn. So we shouldn't learn just from your cleanliness and orderliness, but we should also learn from the experiences here. Having a video, when we came here next, none of this thing, nothing. It was the road. I'm not tired. I'm not tired. I told you that we drove all the way to Uganda to spend 3 days in Uganda. So we saw the country. We were adventurous. So we went out at night. We went to a nightclub to see. Because we are journalists. We need to see. Yes, to see what is there. And tomorrow, a friend of mine lives here. He's going to take me around. We're going to go to some places. Because I want to see Kigali at night. And that's part of my story. I'm going to write a human interest story feature as well. Apart from all. So that's the Kigali I saw, Kigali I'm seeing now. And I know that the next time I come, there will still be improvement. And that's
what was the expectation? According to what you hear last time, in your mind, so what was happening across the country?
The government is discouraging from pursuing
with all these things, there's always a snowball effect. So even if it happens in the country, There's some people from our village who saw people are here. So then there's vengeance. Hey, they killed my people. I don't know whether you watch Chinese movies. You watch Chinese movies? Yes. They killed my family. I'm going out. Hey, killed my family. That's what it is. So even if it's happening in Kigali and not happening here, somebody here would have taken somebody. And the message goes. So it was something that was just here. In all cases, all it was happening. You understand? I get you. So you came knowing that I told you that I'm at a very young age. And our soldiers were here. And my life, I am optimistic. So for me, the glass is half, not half empty. And I believe that things are possible. That's the mindset which I have. And having this ambition. Because like I said, 94, I came in 2022, July 2022. Now, I'm here, August 2026. And every time there's progress. And the discussion we had today was about healing. And healing is a very important aspect of this. Media for good instead of, all that.
So to help tell your story, who will tell your story? It's the media again.
Yeah.
So, and if you don't tell your own story, somebody will tell your story for you. You know the thing about the cub, lion, lioness, the cub asks the lion, why is it that every time there's a story about you and man wins? Then the lioness told the cub, until you start writing your own story, that will be the narrative. So when you start writing your own story, then you can decide what the lead is, what the body is, and what your conclusion will be. That is the only way you can control the narrative. If you don't get involved. And that's why one of the good things you are doing here, Kigali University, training lots of people. In different things, in law, in whether everything. So it's a collective thing. And of course the citizens too have the mindset that we can do it. And I come here and say that this is Africa. Look at what Rwanda is doing. I'm going back home to go and see all the plastics around. and with that, you need a policy. You have to come out and say this is, yes, it will bite, it will hurt people who have invested in all these plastic companies. Yes, but there's a larger good.
And the behavior.
Yes, there's a larger good for the society. So you were just telling me, somebody got to Kenya and they told me, hey, if it's Rwanda, you're going to make sure no plastics.
Don't go there with the plastic.
So that's the message. I wish I could go back to my people and tell them that when you are coming back to Ghana, no plastics.
No plastic.
But that's not the case. It has to start from the policy level. It has to come and say, this is it. We make some preparations and then we get there. Because look, back home, the waste, a lot of it is plastics. And the thing is not biodegradable. So it's there for years. And we haven't found any way to turn it, out there. So you see lots of black bags, the black bags and all that around. That's the thing. So that is it.
That is it. Yeah. Now, normally when someone travels, you get to the airport. You have someone who is waiting for you to give you a kind hospitality. Then, in your case, you reached Kanombe. Was there someone waiting for you? Is there a name?
No, I don't have a name, but a hotel.
The hotel.
Yes, okay. Saint Famille Hotel. They had protocol.
I mean in 1994.
Oh, 1994? No, we came with the soldiers.
With the soldiers.
But our soldiers were based here. You understand? And then a team comes. So the soldiers received
So the plane landed.
I told you that we have
the soldiers.
The airport. Yes, because we had our. Okay, the army, they have what they call the Directorate of Public Relations. And you know what public relations does? Yes, so they met us and then took us to where we were. But we went in hotel and things at the time. It wasn't a hotel. It wasn't a hotel. It wasn't like a hotel, like,
it was like
what I'm in there now. No. It was a facility, something it was modest. But that's what I'm telling you about the improvement now. Now go and look at my hotel room. Very fantastic place. And all. 94 wasn't anything like that. It was just a.
On our way from the airport, would you be able to see outside, to see the Rwanda, that Rwanda you visited for your first time?
Yes, that's why I'm saying that. Right from the airport. There was nothing.
There was nothing.
There was just
only
nothing. And then the next day, don't forget that we're journalists, so we want to go see. So we went to see, and I told you that on and on, we went even to a club to go and see what happens out there. So I'm saying, so we compare it to what was happening back home. If it's a nightlife, what is it? There was nothing. Really.
There's nothing.
Yeah.
And then comparing Rwanda of that time to other countries you had already visited. What was the comparison in Africa?
All the countries I had been to in Africa were far advanced. We're ahead. At least better roads. I mean, I wouldn't say perfect, but better. And that is why I'm commending you for what you have been able to do as a country. Because I saw that in 94 with nothing.
No, that time before coming to Rwanda in 1994 genocide, how many other countries you had visited?
I had visited a number of countries.
A number of countries?
Yes.
In Africa or
outside Africa?
Let's look at those African countries. So compare the Rwanda you saw that time, the Rwanda, apart from what was happening there, regardless of what was happening. So how was Rwanda compared to the other countries you visited?
That's the point I'm emphasizing. I'm saying that in terms of infrastructure, Rwanda had nothing when I came here. Because I had been to Togo, I had been to even Togo, next door Togo. They had big Guisco. I don't know if you know that. They had a big mall. Those times, Guisco, they had the hotel, DFB hotel. They had, big time. I didn't see anything like that here. And I'm just telling you, that's next door Togo. Cote d'Ivoire even had more. Because of football in the roads and things like that. So when I came here, there was nothing.
There was nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
That is the Rwanda you saw?
No, there was nothing.
You spent how many days?
2 weeks. I said we were here 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Within that, we went 3 days.
Working day and night? Or working day and night, or you could work during a day, then in the evening you could go around and visit other places?
There were a lot of checkpoints at the time to move. But we were with our soldiers. Our soldiers were controlling what was happening here at the time. So we were as the soldiers. So when we are moving, we move with the soldiers.
Freely?
Anywhere
you want to go.
Yes, but still there's a checkpoint. When you get to the checkpoint, you have to do what you have to do. You check, they want to find out, like when we got here, say, all of you get down,
pass
go this. Yeah, pass there. So you follow instructions. And if you know, soldiers are very regimented people. They follow the instructions and the rules. Say, go this way, out there. So if it was a case that we were not supposed to go out, they wouldn't allow to go. You understand? So we got a chance to go around. I told you we went to the orphanages. So we saw the kids. People who displaced, they didn't call them orphanages. They said we should call them displaced. Because they said it's politically correct to use that term. So displaced children, because they were there. And I told you that some of them couldn't talk because of what they got. We went to the hospital. So we went round. But we didn't go round, and we were warned, you don't go round on your own. We went round in groups. Yes, we didn't go round. You don't sneak out. Say you are going, so we know. We went out in groups. And always with the soldiers out there. So that's what it was.
So that is the country you saw that time. That is the Rwanda you saw that time.
Yes.
The country full of atrocities, but the country, again, without infrastructures compared to other countries at that time.
Yes.
So now, you left Rwanda in 1994. Okay. Then what was your feeling? You see, there is a time you leave a country, you leave a place, then you live with thirsty to come back even tomorrow. If you are, let's say, for example, here you are here for this Congress, so you may leave saying that if this is your first time to visit Rwanda, you may leave country saying I need to come back just simply for visiting this beautiful country. What was your feeling in 1994? So when you left this country,
my feeling after that was
you said
any
this
opportunity.
You also shook the hand with the devil. So you say,
you see, for me, I came and saw that. And going back, for me, I was looking for any opportunity to come again and see. Because I believe in a baseline. This is where it is. Where will it be next year? Where will it be the other year? So I didn't get an opportunity till 2022, July. There was another conference here. So I paid for myself and joined the team and came for that conference. You understand?
So the ultimate goal was
that's
just
the 22. Yes, to see where. Yes, in 2022 to see where things are now. And then with this one, now I'm the editor of the Catholic Standard, and this whole thing is what? As a Catholic program. Cygnus.
Cygnus, yeah.
Cygnus is Catholic communicators around the world, and it's an opportunity to come and meet my colleagues from various places. So that's why I'm here, and then I get an opportunity to see Rwanda. And I told you somebody's going to take me out tomorrow, Kigali at night.
At night?
Yes, so tomorrow we're going out to see.
Yeah, to correct the image, the bad image you have in your mind of that time.
At that time, to see where it's going to. Yesterday I went for a haircut. You can see my hair. Head. Yeah, yesterday I went for a haircut, and I've written something on my Facebook pages about the professional service I got. It's out here. Because when they finished, they took me in for washing. And a woman beside, yesterday, where they took me. Oh, the picture is here. So I did a short video. There's a short video. It's got over 500 plays already. A short, just a 2 second or a second video. Plus a picture of me with the cloth around me. Yeah, my hair. So what I'm telling you is that journalism is storytelling, and with a purpose. With a purpose. So I'm telling my story. What I mean. So I said that Baba was very professional in what he did. And then tomorrow I'm going Kigali by night. So then that is part of my story. I'll go see what it is, out there. So I'm looking forward to it. Actually, it was today that they were supposed to pick me. We agreed on 6 o'clock. But when I made my mind, I want to come to this. I don't want to rush. Yes, out there. So I said, it's tomorrow. So he'll pick me. So he's pick me tomorrow. And then I'll go see things, nightlife, what is happening.
Let's see in 2022 and 2026. I think that there is you had a first impression at the airport. What was it? Let's focus in 2026 because now we are running the show in 2026, and it is the Rwanda you saw and the Rwanda you see now in 2026. What was your first impression
when
at the airport?
94, you didn't have Rwanda and did you have it? Did you have it? I didn't come with Rwanda. I came with the Ethiopian Airlines. But at the airport, your planes are parked there. And it says something. My country, I don't have a plane.
Tell us a story.
We don't have a plane now. National airline. Now we used to have an airline called Ghana Airways years ago. We don't have an airline. So I come here now. In fact, when you get to Ethiopia, Bole Airport, you see the number of planes out there. Lots of planes. Out there. You get to Rwanda, see Rwandan Airways, this thing out there. I don't have an airline. So I'm just telling you that there are markers. There are things that you use to mark. You understand what I'm saying? So it's one of the markers out there. And then the service was very, very smooth. Smooth service. Nobody asking for any bribe. Nobody. Smooth. Yes.
How do you know?
Good. I can't talk for everybody. I talk for myself. I'm a journalist. So you talk from your experience. That's why I tell you that I don't use second-hand information. I use my information.
You go to the source.
Yes, so I'm at the source. And as I'm about the source, I'm very observant. I'm there for a reason. I told you journalism is storytelling with a purpose. So I have a purpose for telling you this, during this interview. I have a purpose. You understand? So everything I do, there is a method to my madness.
I see. Now, in 32 years ago, you saw a country full of atrocities and lacking the necessary infrastructure. And you compared this to the countries that time you had already visited. Now I'm very sure that you visited many countries, hundreds of countries. Now, the Rwanda you see now if we compare the Rwanda you see now to other countries now, in infrastructure-wise and service-wise, how do you compare Rwanda and the countries?
Rwanda is up there. In terms of cleanliness, it would be lots of Europe, lots of, North America. In terms of cleanliness, I haven't seen any filth around. You understand? So it's one of the things you want to look at. And in terms of orderliness, I told you that at the airport, smooth. Nobody asked any questions about why this or that. We did visa on arrival. So names, everything had been sent already. You come smooth out there, because sometimes the airport is your first experience. That's your point of call. You get there, and then if you have a bad experience from there, that's what stays with you out there. So no such experience. 94, I told you that one, the soldiers met us. When 2022, I came, very good experience, smooth. 2026, similar experience. So far, the hotel, fantastic. No complaints.
No complaints.
Yeah, if I had complaints, I'll tell you. Because if I had complaints, I'll tell you. Anyway, 2 days to go, so I can't say fully. But I still have tomorrow, Friday, and then Saturday to go. So for now, so let me qualify it. For now, everything is fine.
Everything is fine.
I'm happy. So far, so good. That's what it is.
You're happy. So now, as a journalist, what do you think other countries should learn from Rwanda? The Rwanda you see now.
The first thing is about issues about tribe, ethnicity, and then misusing the media, because that fires things up and triggers things. I was with one of my colleagues in the bus, and he said something had happened in Kenya recently, somebody calling a particular group hyenas. And that kind of thing is the same thing, the cockroaches. And it leads to things. So lessons learned from here is that words and the things we say can trigger negative things. So we have to learn from that. And then learn that, yes, in life, maybe we'll step on each other's toes and things, but we have to be united. You know that is one nation and kind of one people, and you have a common destiny. So you will swim together or you will sink together.
And swim together or sink together.
Yes, or sink together. And what I have seen is that there's a mindset from those I've interacted with, a mindset that wants to see them succeed. That is my feeling. I haven't spoken to, I can't speak to everybody, but those I've spoken to, that is the mindset. And when you go through the people you talk to, I've engaged some of them, those standing, taking us around, and I told them I was here in 94. I say, hey! I say, yes, I was here. And I said, well done to what you have done as a country and as a people. I commend you for that, and I'm hoping that I can go back and then get my people to say no plastics when you are coming. So somebody in Kenya said, me too, I want somebody to come and say, hey, you're going to Ghana, please. Don't put any plastics in your bag. That will be the day. So that's what it is.
Now, Rwanda is visited. It's mostly visited by young people, by journalists, by anyway, anybody can visit Rwanda. So what the message or advice can you give to those who visit Rwanda? What is the homework? What is the task? To see the Rwanda, let's say that there is a Rwanda they heard that time and the Rwanda they hear today.
What I would tell people is that this is a Rwanda with a mindset, a new mindset, a mindset for progress and development. So people have just come together and look at the cleanliness. Because if you clean your part and somebody doesn't clean his part, what will happen? They won't all be clean. But I hear you even have days. Is it days of the month or week or something for cleaning?
Yes. Once per month.
Once a month. What's it called again? Muganda. And everybody gets on board. So it's not a day that then somebody's going to open a shop or somebody's going to do this and there's no resistance. So I'm saying it's the common good. So things like that. We did a cleaning exercise recently. Well, one-off. But yours is a monthly thing. And that is how to sustain the cleanliness. It has to be sustained. You don't do it one-off. That's why I say if you want to come to Africa, see a clean city, clean environment, try Rwanda. I haven't gone to see the gorillas yet. That's another thing I would love to. One of the trips that I come to go and see mountain gorillas. You know, I know. But otherwise, what I've seen now, I'm happy. And I'm happy to say that it's in Africa. So if this is happening in Africa, this is doable. Because sometimes we look at it and say, wow. And I told you that I'm an optimist. The glass is half full, not half empty. So there's hope.
There is a hope.
That is what, how I live my life.
What would be your wish? You are here. Let's look at this week. You are here. You are more than 250. What should be the task after visiting Rwanda? Should we keep quiet about what we experienced? Should we be telling the stories about what should we do? The people here are all communicators. They're communicators. So you have to go back and tell your story. What did you see? That is it. I said journalism is storytelling with a purpose. So you have to go back and tell the story. And how do you start a story? You start by comparing what you live in to what you've come to see. Are there things, lessons to be learned? Yes, and I'm telling you some of the lessons. For instance, cleanliness, orderliness, and then the spirit of forgiving one another and moving on and having a common mindset. This whole thing about cleaning every month is very important. We did one-off, but it has to be regular. So that's the message. I hope that everybody else is going to go to their various places with that message, that mindset. And the mindset is that this is Africa, and Rwanda is doing it. Why can't you do it? It means that it's possible. It can be done. But it takes the collective, mindset. So that's where we are. All right. So now my last question. The time you visited Rwanda, that 2 years ago, I'm very sure you were youth. Okay. So then, and also, what do you see today is a result of the efforts and dedication of also the people who chose to do the right thing over the bad thing. So what message do you have for the youth in general, not only in Rwanda but also across Africa? There is something you saw when you were young person.
Yes, I'm just going to
and
tell
also
you.
that time, the young people decided to choose the right thing over the bad thing. Then what we see today, what you see now, what you are seeing these days is the results of the efforts, dedication, and even they invested their life, they invested their efforts into building the Rwanda you see today. Who are youth?
I'm 63 years old now, okay? So when I came here, I was in my 30s, early 30s, okay? I'm 63 now. So when I came here 32 years ago, subtract that from me. Now, at that time, there was nothing like social media. Now there is social media. So what we have to look at is, how can you use social media for good? You understand? Communication itself is a powerful tool, but it depends on how you use it. And I started by telling you that everything we do is about leadership. So they're going to look at what the leaders are doing and take examples from it. And then one of the things about Africa, whether it's the youth or whatever, is there is no compliance. And compliance should be followed by enforcement. There should be rules. There have to be, because if you let the door open, everything will be done. And especially with the youth. I don't know how old you are. Do you have children?
Yes, I do.
Yes. So you check your children, don't you? The things they do. The do's and don'ts. But if you leave them And no check, who will give them? The peers. The influence will come from where? Their peers and social media. So there has to be some checks and balances. And you have to keep your eye on the ball, especially with the youth. You have to encourage them, you have to inspire them, let them understand, guidance. And a lot of the things that I do back home is mentorship. I mentor the younger generation in my field especially. And so mentorship is a big deal. So it's something that has to be done here at all levels, in all fields. So mentorship, because when people look at their mentors, the mentors are doing ethics, ethical behavior, very important, and especially for the youth, because you know how dangerous social media can be. It can be used for good, at the same time it can be used for bad and evil things. At the time that 94, it was just radio, and even look at the damage it was able to do. Can you imagine if it was social media at that time? What would have happened? Nothing would have been left. That was just radio. Radio, of course, is a powerful tool, but now social media is more powerful than radio, because even those in television and all, you have to gravitate towards digital. Otherwise, you're kind of left out. You'll lose some segment of the market if you don't get them. So the youth, we have to continue mentoring them, let them know that there are rules and regulations and things, and then we need to enforce laws. There should be laws governing things. It's not a free-for-all. You understand? Because when they say freedom of speech, it means you can say anything and get away. We're not talking about criminalizing speech. You should know, come from whom, okay? And know what is permissible and what is not permissible. So the youth have to be guided. And how do you guide them? You guide them through mentorship. Very important. Because they follow the leader. So the leader has to be on the path of righteousness. We are in a religious term, so righteousness. So that's what you want to look at.
Oh, wow. Peter, thanks so much for your time. Thanks so much for the insights you share with us. So it was insightful. It was good to hear your story. So I invite the youth to like and enjoy this program. So on your behalf, I would like to thank Peter for being with us in our today's program, and I also like to thank Grace, who played a prominent role in shooting this program. So that is the end. Stay blessed. See you next time.